All right, fourth graders, it is Thursday. We are on lesson 3.6 in your book. And we are able to choose a multiplication method now. So we are able to do partial product, or if you know how to use it's still partial product, but how to use it with the distributive property. Some of my kiddos are starting to do that because of simple solutions. Or if your parents have shown you a standard algorithm or old school multiplication, then you get to choose that. So I'm actually going to show you a couple of those ways today. Normally, I like to skip the unlock the problem because it doesn't necessarily use our method, but there's some really cool information here that I feel like a lot of you guys don't know, and it's about sunscreen. It says, did you know using math can help prevent you from getting a sunburn? The time it takes you to burn without sunscreen multiplied by the SPF, or the sun protection factor. Did you even know that SPF stood for sun protection factor? Is the time you can stay in the sun safely with that sunscreen. For instance, if today's UV index is 8, Aaron will burn in 15 minutes without sunscreen. If Aaron puts on lotion with an SPF of 25, how long will she be protected? Well, in order to figure that out, you take how long it normally takes her to burn times the SPF. So this is using partial products, but we also call this the distributive method because you're multiplying by each thing, okay? So I'm not going to do it this way for unlocking the problem. I'm going to do it how we've been doing partial product. So 25 is 20 plus 5 times 15, which is 10 plus 5. And then your lines go where the plus signs are. And you simply fill in those boxes. We know that 10 times 20 is going to end with at least 2 zeros, and 1 times 2 is 2. 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times 20 starts with a 0, and 5 times 2 is 10, so 100. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Now I can combine those in my head because I know that 50 and 25 is 75, and I know that 200 and 100 is 300, so 375. So if Erin puts on lotion with an SPF of 25, she will be protected for 375 minutes. I would love to challenge you and ask you how many hours that is. What would you have to do to figure that out? Divided by 60, right? So Aaron's good to go in the sun for a few hours, but we all know that sweat and swimming, and if you're maybe at the beach and you're playing in the sand, all that stuff can rub that lotion off quicker. So we always want to lather up every hour or so. Alrighty, guys, turn over to page 178. We are going to do the try this in the middle because we're going to try it a couple of different methods. Okay, so it's 57 times $43. So if I'm going to estimate that, I'm going to make 57 times $43, and 57 is approximately, that's how you write approximately, 60. I'm rounding up. And 43 is approximately 40 because I'm rounding down. Because if you go by the tens place, the 7 tells you to give it a shove. The 3 tells you to bring it down low. Leave it down low. So then you have 40 times 60. So 2 zeros and 24. Our answer should be close to 2,400. So now let's do this using partial products. So we have 43 times 57, same thing. We can mix those up due to the commutative property. So we'll start with 40 plus 3 and 50. Kind of got it crammed in there, don't I? 50 plus 7. Lines where the plus signs go. 2 zeros. 5 times 4 is 20, so 2,000. 50 times 3, 1 0, and 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 40, 1 0, and 7 times 4 is 28. And 7 times 3 is 21. So now we add all of those up. 2,150, 280, and 21. Make sure you line up that ones place. 10, 15, 3, 4. Bring down that 2. So 2,451. Pretty close to the 2,400. So it looks pretty reasonable. Need to put the dollar sign in front. And then lastly, if you're doing old school or standard algorithm, which is also known as regrouping, you take the ones place of the bottom number. 7 times 3 is 21. 1. I always like to put a plus 2 up here so I know that I'm adding, not multiplying that. And then 7 times 4, which is 28, plus 2, which is 30. Then we're going to move to the tens place, which means everything's going to be times 50. So we know it's going to end in a 0 because of our mental math strategies. 5 times 3 is 15. And then 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. I got the same answer here as I got here. It's all close to 2,400. So it should be reasonable. Answer that question number 1. How do you know your answer is reasonable? Because my estimate of 2,400 is close to my answers that I got, which were both 2,451. It says, look at the partial products and regrouping method above. How are the partial products 2,150 related to 2,150 here? How did it know that? Is it magic? Is it magic? So it's saying, how is this related to this? Because here you're doing 50 times 40 and 50 times 3. And here you were doing 50, because we did 5 and had that 0 down there. 50 times 3 and then 50 times 40. It's amazing how that works. Then it asks the same thing about 280 and 21 and 301. When you add those two things together, that's what you get. Magic, math magic. All right, guys, at this point, it's just practicing and getting better at that strategy. So whichever one that you have been working on, I would encourage you to do as many of these on the page that you can do in, say, 15 minutes. Maybe set a timer for 15 minutes and see how many you can get done, and then either have someone check it, or you could even check yourself with a calculator. Could you just write all the answers in with a calculator? Sure you could, but you're not learning anything like that, and you can't use that on your test, so you might as well learn how to do it, right? Okay, so let's do one more all together, and then you can take off and do a few of these and check your answers. So 54 times 29. So 50 plus 4 and 20 plus 9. $50 times 20, we'll start with 2 zeros, and 5 times 2 is 10, so 1,000. 20 times 4 is 80. 9 times 50 is 450, and 9 times 4 is 36. So I know that this together is 1,450. And then I can just pop on that 80 and 36. So 11 plus 5 is 16. So 1,566. Now you guys try a few of these, practice, and either check it with somebody at the house, or maybe bring it to your teacher to check, or even check them on a calculator. If you want to finish out this page and have somebody check it, tell them they can check it on a calculator. That's fine. You're just wanting to get extra practice so that you're doing your very best. Have a great Thursday, guys.